Scanlon talking about how sad it was to see her in a wheelchair. There's nothing wrong with it. I said no. How sad it was to see her in a wheelchair after the dynamic woman she had been over support as the mayor. And it wasn't really white guys. It was two white guys. So it's a very, very strange letter, and I'm thankful it is a
I had to enlist in the military because they were what people were hiring during Reagan's first term.
I checked the weather.
boy tried to show some respect, but what he has done to his state, people were going to say, hey, I don't care if he is a memorial, family's there, but what he's doing, that's how strong it is. Hey,
Thank you. Let me get this business.
thank you.
Yes, my name is Tom McGuire. I used to spell it PH.
All right, my man. How you doing?
McGuire is McGuire.
All right.
Steve Patterson, reporter with the Times.
Yeah. I remember you.
Okay.
You interviewed us a couple times. We had our labor demonstrations.
Okay.
We'll probably have one to support UAW
More or
real
less.
soon
I
here in
actually
Jacksonville.
worked more with
So we get that message here. Be out here supporting UAW.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
the
there you go.
fourth vice president of Central Labor Council. Central Labor Council.
I'm sorry, I should remember you, but I just.
Joseph Lacey, George.
They're trying to get the
Yeah.
federal monument.
Yeah, you get to meet a lot of people. I know you can't remember everybody.
Yeah, but still.
The one where
Yeah, like I said, I'm the fourth vice president of North Florida Central Labor Council.
Yeah. Okay. And today you're out here. I mean, are you connected with the group, or are you just someone who saw the situation and said, no, I got something to by being here is just gonna as an individual is gonna lend support to her.
Yeah, I'm here today to support the family in Jacksonville. I live here all my life, so I've seen all the police problems we've had in this city. So I'm here to support the city, support the family concerning police brutality. We heard TK Waters' message yesterday, and we saw the video. Now, he's saying that the video was altered by someone on social media. Yet yesterday when he provided his video, he didn't show everything, especially the guy being slammed to the ground. So that makes everyone think, okay, you're not showing everything. Maybe you altering your video. And that's what everybody's thinking now. And that just was bad when he went out there and didn't show the part where the guy's slamming him to the ground, because that's the most important part, and that's why everybody's upset. The guy being slammed to the ground. We don't mind police officers doing their job. That's what they're here for. To do their job, but do it correctly. If the guy committed a crime, arrest him, send him to court. That's what we want. Criminals off the street. But to go as far as they did, we're not going to stand for that. We saw the pictures of that guy, his face.
Yep.
Now, I watched a lot of boxing in my day. I've seen a lot of pictures of boxers getting beat up. And that was the face of a boxer, being beat up, punched in the face numerous times. So, the citizens, we're not dumb, we're not stupid. We're not dumb, we're not stupid. Those were punches to the face. And we're just not going to stand for it. We want them to do the job, be held accountable, make sure they do it correctly.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Check check check. Hello hello. Good.
They figure, well, okay, we got a video where him falling on the street when he got taped. Okay, let's say he got those bruises when he fell on the street. No, you don't get people like that. I was a kid. We all grew up falling on the street, falling baseball. We never got those kind of bruises falling down. So we're not stupid.
Like
I mentioned on my Facebook page,
they're realizing
the hospital should be able to determine what happened there. Whether those bruises come from falling on the street or numerous punches to the face. And that's what I'm waiting on the hospital report. So I hope the mother here today to talk about the hospital report.
Sitting there.
Excellent question.
Yeah.
Yep. Jay, so has been getting attention several things. Last week,
Just the calendar, their support.
crime levels in that whether they're being effective in policing. Can you, separate from this,
As the sheriff's PR person,
this situation, do you have any thoughts about the sheriff's office is handling its basic jobs of protecting people and
dissatisfied with it. Like I mentioned before, the other day when I was down here speaking, just the other day, they got a raise, a budget raise. A budget raise to do what? What have they been doing for the last decades? They don't come to the scene on time. You call them to get there late. If they do come, you can guarantee somebody's going to die or somebody's going to get hurt. One of the two. So what are they getting that money for? To hurt the citizen and don't represent the citizen. So that's why I am upset. A lot of voters here in town, we are upset with JSO. And we just tired of police brutality. Just go ahead and do your job. Arrest people if they commit a crime. Do it correctly. And you got them. If they violate a traffic law, all right, stop them. Say, hey, this is what you violated. This is just a ticket. But we all know they don't try to de-escalate. Right? They want to escalate. They want to try to find something. That's why they ask.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
So they can arrest you. We know that. I would say 90% of the time when they stop someone, just like let me see, I saw a video. Oh yeah. That's why I encourage people, like I mentioned the other day too. When you're in any kind of interaction with police, break out your cell phone. Go to Facebook Live. That is your protection. Go to Facebook Live. That'll record everything because you can't depend on them having a cam on all the time and record everything that was said.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check. Hello. Check. 1 2 1 2. Check. Here at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Everything's sounding okay. 3 2 1. Check.
said exactly what I was talking about that body slam. And they put all that crap on. Yeah. You don't even put that on there. There you go. Yeah. T-shirt. Kind of come back maybe a little bit. And then, just hang on, man. Let's come over. You want to go this way, bro? No, you good right here. Let's put it right inside. We're good. All right. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm attorney Marwan Porter, and I'm here with members of my legal team who is representing the interests of LaKen Woods. I'm here with Broderick, here with Mr. Harry Daniels out of Georgia, and obviously we're here with LaKen's family. We're here to provide a brief update in terms of what we know and the status of LaKen. Members of my legal team have went to see him. He's still in excruciating pain. I believe he has a ruptured kidney, migraine headaches, and he's hurting, really bad. And you know, as I said yesterday, you know, practice what you preach. If you preach transparency, practice transparency. Not partial transparency, full transparency. Anything less than that only raises more questions. And we do have more questions. And I think since that, there has been additional body cam footage that has been released. And you've all seen it. Several knees to the head, elbows to the head, punches to the face. Basically, it's like a UFC ground and pound beatdown. Yeah. That's what it is. A UFC ground and pound beatdown by trained professionals, allegedly, and maybe that's why we're here. We need to call into question, because what the sheriff said was their conduct was in line with JSO policies and procedures. So if that's true, getting a UFC beatdown for refusing to put your hand behind your back is consistent with JSO policies and procedures. And that's problematic. That's problematic. And so we are here to hold everyone accountable, and we are listening to every word you say. And when it's time to call bullshit, I'm gonna call bullshit. Because you're not gonna sell me chicken shit and tell me it's chicken salad. Okay? You saw what happened. It is unacceptable. And fortunately, he's okay at this point in time. He's doing a little bit better. But those knees to the face, they try to kick in his skull. Okay, and it's problematic, and we cannot tolerate that. And we will not tolerate that, not in our community. And we need to say what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And again, when you start bringing up the past to try to justify what you did in the present, it raises more red flags. One has nothing to do with the other. Okay, when part of the statement, you say that the gun that you found belonged to another individual who admitted that that was his firearm, but you place a gun charge on LaKen. How does that make sense? Okay, you see from the body cam that the drugs that were found were in the back seat, under the seat. And you say LaKen was in the front passenger seat. Exactly. And you place drug charges on him. Exactly. Okay, a lot of it doesn't make sense. And you're on paper stating it, and you've stated it in your reports. So we don't want this situation to be a whitewash situation where you are trying now to place charges on LaKen to justify the conduct of your officers. It's unacceptable. You're talking about a young man's life. All right. So, you know, with that said, I'm going to introduce Mr. Daniels, and he has a couple words for you as well.
All right. Harry Daniels, National Civil Rights Lawyer. I'm no stranger to Duval County down here, no stranger to the Jacksonville Sheriff Office. Misconduct. I've been out here several times dealing with this Sheriff Office, specifically with some of these officers in this gang unit. They got a modus operandi. They stop people for pretextual reasons to do what?
to assault, terrorize, and tear this community apart. We've been in these steps several times on multiple cases with the same exact officers. You know, so I listened to, I knew he was Captain Waters, Sheriff Waters, to his interview yesterday, more one, and he talked about his sheriff office violated no policy. Well, did you see how they cut the video off when they slammed him in the, the kid in the ground? Yeah. You see, that's clearly a violation of policy. You see, when a person falls face forward from being tased, one would think that he probably got some type of dazed, disoriented confusion. Roger? Right. And when you asked for his hand, did y'all see what he showed his hand to him? Yeah. He asked me, let me see your hand. But that wasn't enough for them. They saw his waist. They saw he was unarmed. But they continued to beat him over and over again. We'll be very clear. Beating near a person in the head is not this use of force, it's deadly force. That's been opined by experts across the nation. Now, I didn't see anything on that video, Marwan or Ms. McClain. I didn't see anything on that video that warranted any type of force, let alone deadly force. Correct. Right. LaKen probably weighed 160 pounds, soaking wet. 100. Those officers well over 200 pounds. The culture here in Jacksonville, Duval County, is a culture, an atmosphere that's not just based on these officers on the street. It's always to the top. We don't have a bad apple. We have a bad apple orchard. That's right. When the sheriff, basically, in his own words, validate, ratify, and confirm these actions of these officers who are back on the street today, there's nobody in Duval County safe. Y'all know me. Y'all reporters know me. We do cases up in Camden County with police misconduct, beatings. We're no stranger here to Duval County and Jacksonville, especially this officer, Jose Garriga, the one who kneed him 6 times. Y'all recall he was the same one that shot and killed Jamie Johnson back in 2019. And you know what he stopped him for? A damn seatbelt. That's their mode. That's how they operate. Look, I'm gonna let his mom come up. We're gonna come back and tell you our next step, legal steps. We're gonna open up a Q&A. You wanna come and speak? You got something to say? You don't have to, you want to. She don't want to speak at this time. You want to talk about his condition? All right, he's gonna talk about his condition inside the jail this time.
So, I got an opportunity to see LaKen a short while ago. He's in Duval. He's still able to walk, but he's not doing well. He is dizzy when he walks. He still has headaches from the beatdown, and he has a ruptured kidney. Because of that, he's not able to take any liquids. Anything that he tries to eat, he throws back up. Today was the first time in a while he tried to eat some solid foods, the jail macaroni. He said he threw it up. He said when he went down to medical, he threw up about 6 times down there. In terms of treatment, all he's getting is ibuprofen and Vaseline for his wounds. He still can't see properly. His face is still completely purple. His eyes are swollen shut. He can see that I'm there, that there's a body there, but I don't think he knows what I look like. And that's how he is right now. He's not doing well in there.
Sir, could we get your name?
Broderick Taylor.
And how are you affiliated with this, sir?
I'm one of the attorneys.
All right, we're gonna open up for Q&A. We're gonna, no questions about the criminal. We obviously got a criminal matter pending, so we won't be answering any questions about that particular matter. But the next steps for the legal team, we'll answer those questions.
Sir, Sheriff Waters had said that the social media video released this weekend was put out by what he referred to as an anti-police fringe, and that's kind of how he tried to frame this. Can you respond to that, sir?
He said it's an anti-police fringe?
Who put out the video, and he says they manipulated the video to make it, to kind of outrage the
Well, I don't know anything about a manipulated video. The video we put out ran from the start to the end. So there was no manipulation on our end. We put out a 6-minute long video. If you're talking about a video that referred possibly somebody being kicked, we can't control what people do on social media. That's not our control. But for this legal team, this family, the video we put out was a video from a bystander who was recorded and saw the whole incident. And what we saw in that video, we saw LaKen getting beaten, slammed to the ground in handcuffs. You see, if you look at step by step, if you say that the taser was justified, then you go on to the next step. What about the punches in the face? What about the kneeing in the head? you got to look at step by step. And the video we put out obviously showed unlawful force. So to Sheriff Waters, talk about that video instead of the video that somebody else put out. Tell him to talk. Matter of fact, hold on one second. Tell him to release that portion of the video when they slammed him to the ground and have that conversation.
And Mr. Dan, he brings up a great point. Okay, you know, we don't want any type of manipulation of a video to yield a false impression. We don't want that. We want the truth. But you know what also is manipulation? When you don't pull out a full video. When you stop the video before he's being body slammed. That's the same type of manipulation that you accuse the individuals on social media of doing. You're putting out information that is incomplete to yield a false impression. All we're asking for is complete transparency. And we can allow the community to come to their own decision.
Next question.
One of the things we've been receiving from the community, one of the biggest questions we've been receiving, why did he run? Any response?
Well, look, can I ask that one if you don't mind?
You know, I kind of want to put the muzzle on because we're about to give up all of our defense strategies. But he's gonna.
Let me say this: if you have police have no reason suspicion of probable cause, the Supreme Court of the United States say you can walk away, and if you can walk away, you can run away. If they were stopping them for a seatbelt infraction violation for the driver, then the passenger has nothing to do with that. So he can run if he wants to.
This is when your excuses don't excuse and your explanations don't explain. They put in the police report that they were pulled over for a seatbelt infraction. The passenger can do whatever he wants to do.
Oh yeah, why would he not going?
He can do whatever he wants. So this is when you start asking.
Hold on one second. Let me say this as well. Hold on.
Stopped in Jacksonville, Florida, by JSO.
Let me say this. Let me say this. If they were getting pulled over for a seatbelt violation, think about this, people. Why in the hell is police officers getting out with guns drawn?
Right.
I've been stopped for a seatbelt violation.
Sir, he
and it wasn't
a seatbelt violation. He said it was an ongoing.
Did you read the report, sir?
I did read the report.
And you
sir.
see the?
They said they followed. They watched them at a gas station. They had suspicion of a drug deal. And they followed him.
Hold on, wait. He's answering questions. Let him ask a question. What did he see at the gas station?
They said they saw people talking, and you can argue whether or not it was a drug deal or not.
No.
What did they say?
They see in the police
and I know, we're not picking on you.
Yeah,
What did they see?
What did they see?
They saw a group of people, and in their description of it, they thought it was a drug.
No. Stop. Stop. Go ahead. I got you. I got you. Yeah, he's answering a great question. Let's go.
We're glad he asked the question.
And they followed, and they say they used the seatbelt as their reason to pull over to intervene.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
That's the point.
So, and thank you for that question. I understand. That question, they didn't see anything. What they saw is 4 black men at a gas. We ain't gonna take the race card out of it because, to my understanding, one of the officers called you the N-word after the fact. The daddy right here.
Exactly.
So, they did not see a crime being committed at all. They're giving us suspicions to pull over this vehicle. The reason why they got into this car because they talked about a seatbelt. Once again, you don't bring out guns on a seatbelt violation. We don't know anything else. We got the same information received. Next question.
Yeah.
We talked about this yesterday. In the report, they said after he fell when he was tased that they pulled him up and he was bleeding. Do you believe that his injuries could have resulted from anything other than the beating?
Go ahead.
So I mean, again, we want all of you to have a critical eye, have a critical mind. Ask the questions. You ask a great question, but don't just accept things. Okay? They did not see any type of transferring of drugs when they initially were doing their surveillance. They said they saw some people communicating. That's not a crime. Counting money. That's not a crime.
Yep.
Okay? And then they pursue them and they said, oh, well, one doesn't have a seatbelt on. Okay, well, if that's the reason that you're using to pull these individuals over, then the passenger can get out the car and leave.
And that's what we call it. That's what we call a pretextual reason for that seatbelt.
So, but what you're seeing now is, okay, let's create something that doesn't necessarily exist. as the facts show. We're trying to create a situation. And so to answer your question, no. He doesn't, LeKen doesn't end up looking like a Halloween mask of Emmett Till from one fall on the ground.
Yeah, and you can see from the fall, the initial fall, what was his injuries at the time versus after the fact. So if you didn't stop, if you didn't start the video, you can see that. So that's a good question, though.
So, sir, the chin, the bloody chin that we see in the video, that could be the fall from the taser. What do you account the other injuries, the scrapes, the bruises, the swelling from?
I think hold on, guys. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I think that you can, without a doubt in our mind, that we'll count the swollen eyes, the ruptured kidney, to the beating that he took by JSO Police Department. He was struck almost 6 times, and one of the officers, Garriga, says in his report, you read the report, right, that he accidentally might have hit him in the head. But look at the video when he's grabbing his head and kneeing him like a UFC fighter. That's not an accident, that's intentional. And our experts have already determined that is an intentional act. Go ahead. I should have asked y'all to identify yourself, but go ahead.
You mentioned the ruptured kidney. That's a big thing. So, did the hospital agree that he has a ruptured kidney? Did they clear him to be released from the hospital to jail?
We're not going to release anything about his actual medical records itself, but what we've been told, incredible source, that he suffered a ruptured kidney. So, any other questions?
You described Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, I think something along the lines of an orchard of bad apples.
Culture of bad apples.
So,
orchard.
If you can't appeal to the supervisor, who is Sheriff Waters, who do you appeal to?
The Department of Justice. We already got a petition in line to Washington, D.C., Department of Justice. Because this is, when you also see the Jacksonville Sheriff Office investigate themselves with the deal they got with the State's Attorney's Office over here, that because you would think in this case that the Florida Division of Law Enforcement come in to investigate. See, in Georgia, the GBI would have came in and did the investigation. But JSO investigate themselves. And the last time I checked, if you investigate your own house, you gonna find any wrongdoing? Absolutely. So this is a culture from the top. So we need to come in, Department of Justice need to come in, and not just investigate this matter, but other matters that's happening in this city. It's been multiple times. They just started releasing body cams footage 2 years ago, a year ago. And obviously in this case, with the release of a amateur video cell phone, they had no choice but release it. And they still have not released the whole video. Exactly. But to answer your question, absolutely, Department of Justice. And we will send y'all a copy of that petition.
And you filed that petition?
Well, it's not a file, it's a matter of letter, and we'll send it over to you guys. Any other questions?
Hopefully you can sign it.
Any other questions? Going once?
One of the things the sheriff mentioned yesterday in his press conference was that there may have been some connections to gangs. I wanted to present that question to you.
What's your name?
Let's see your thoughts first.
Let me tell you something. And my brother right here said it. I couldn't say it no better. When the police start talking about the person past, you need to be concerned about their present. So, gang affiliation, past charges, has nothing to do with that deadly force they used on that day.
Right.
Has nothing to do with it.
After you subdued.
Regardless if he broke the law in the past, you can't break the law and arresting a person and bringing them into custody. That's exactly what they did. Go ahead.
So yesterday, the sheriff was saying that
I didn't see the sheriff interview, by the way. I didn't see it at all. So thank y'all for letting me know.
He said that your client faces a probation violation charge in Leon County. Are you representing him on that too?
No, we don't represent him on that probation charge that stems from these charges. We have full confidence these charges, based on the evidence we've seen, he should be exonerated on it. Obviously, his criminal defense attorneys will deal with that matter. But like I said, that probation has nothing to do with what they did with him on September 29th.
Sir, can you clarify the difference in your perspective between excessive force versus a normal use of force in a situation?
Well, so you got a force continuum, and that's termed the law enforcement. I used to work in law enforcement myself. So when you have an incident where force is warranted, the force can end up being hands-on, or it can be deadly force, but it has to be justified. In this situation, you had LeKen on the ground in a prone position, who's obviously hit his face on the concrete already and dazed. There was no threat of deadly force there. The argument, they're saying that, oh, he can see his hands, the waist, but But you can see in the video he's flipped over multiple times. But then you see in the video he's struck in the head multiple times, kneed by Officer Garriga. That's deadly force. So deadly force is not warranted when you're just trying to put handcuffs on somebody. Deadly force is warranted when the person that's trying to use deadly force against you. Correct. And clearly from the video, that didn't happen. So so that's what I mean by excessive. And I would go a step further. I'll say the force is unlawful. Unlawful use of force. And the reason why we petition the Department of Justice, not just an investigation as to this incident, but to the sheriff office and other cases. And the Department of Justice come in and they find wrongdoing, that's when FBI come in and arrest the police for misconduct. Right. That's what we're pushing for. Make no mistake about it. Mom and Dad, you want them in jail, right?
Right.
Want them in jail.
All of them.
Any other questions? Any other questions? All right, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Oh, y'all didn't answer. Never mind. Y'all didn't answer. I ain't gonna tell
You're
them.
able to send the letter out here. You're gonna email that out, or how?
Oh, we get out. We get out to you. It's been drafted. We get out to you. All right. Thank you. We'll obviously we'll keep y'all updated what's going on in this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, right. Justice for
Justice for Kid, man. Justice for Kid. Free little kid, man. Free little kid. Free little kid. Free little kid.
We want justice.
Justice for the kid. Free little kid, man. Lock the boys up. Lock the boys up. Free little kid.
TK, do your job. 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 TK, do your job.
Right.
He got to keep quiet. If you want a job, you got to get a real job.
Yeah. He ain't gonna have no job.
Like the officers. They got to get a real job.
Can we get the exact pronunciation of his first name, please? Like Ken?
That's Fox News. Teach don't talk to him. That's Fox News. We don't talk to him.
Thank you.
I mean, that's Channel 4. No, that's the one who's been putting out all that bullshit. We need to stop talking to them. For real. Channel 4, they keep
You know, TK gonna cover it, bro. That's my grandson. He gonna cover it. They gonna sweep all the dirt in the rug. We gonna pull the rug up.
Thank you very much. I'm okay with it, but I appreciate it. You guys gonna email that out? Okay, thank you again. I appreciate it, sir.
Oh, grab your shoe. Very respectful.
Lord have mercy.